The series that I'm going to be bringing to you guys is on thinning hair. My clientele has aged. I don't know what it is. I cannot explain it. I'm just going to say that this is a fact. A lot of older men would prefer another older gentleman take care of them. So you be in this industry a lot longer, you will start to attract older gentlemen. Even though they're thinning, we want to make sure that they have the best haircuts possible. Yes, there are enhancements out there, but a lot of older gentlemen would prefer not to have it. So in this series, you're going to see 4 guys that are all thinning in different ways. And I'm going to show you guys 4 different ways to attack these haircuts to make sure that they look great. Welcome back to Deadstock Barbershop. Today's video is episode 1 of our 4-part thinning hair technique series. In this series, you will learn how to attack 4 different types of male pattern baldness on African American clients without the use of any enhancements. Let's get it. So this haircut is going to be a bald fade. So we're going to start off by setting in our guideline as we always do. I break it up into 3 parts. I'll go right, I'll go left, and I'll meet it in the middle. And then I'll make any adjustments that I need to make sure that this fade comes out balanced. We don't want one side higher than the other or one side darker or lighter than the other. We want to make sure that this haircut is as flawless as possible. And the system is open, halfway, quarter, then close. I just open them up and I'll close it up to halfway and I'll take it up almost to that dark line, just making sure that I have enough room to where I don't create a new line. As you can see, they're halfway, then I'll go quarter of the way close. And by the time I do that, it'll be a faint line. When I close it up, it's going to be smooth. I'm just attacking at that bottom line, just going up a little bit above it. So now that it's closed, it's just barely any work to do. So now that I've knocked out that last line, I'll go back in and detail a little bit. Some people like to wait to the very end, but I like to detail as I go along, just because I know exactly where I'm at. I don't have to do any guesswork later, just trying to match up and figure out what guard or what length I was at. So now we move on to the left side and we're going to follow the same exact steps, except for your purpose, I went ahead and I did it just a little bit differently, just so I can show you guys that it really doesn't matter the order that you do it in, as long as you have a system. So we went from open, halfway, quarter, close. Now this time we went open and we closed it up first and we're going to work our way up. So now I'll go halfway. And the last line that I'll have to attack is the quarter mark. So I went open, close, halfway, then quarter. And as you can see, the fade is still coming out. So it's all about having a system that you can use, that you know exactly where you're at so you don't get lost and you can always count on it. So the majority of the time when I'm fading, I like to use a couple different clippers. It gives me a different feel, a different vibe when I'm cutting hair. And as you can see, I got my masters all the way open right now. And I'm going up about another inch to a half an inch. And the reason that works is because the Andis Masters halfway open is the equivalent to the other clippers all the way open. And I got it up there so you guys can read it. That's how it works. They're not the same length. The cutting range on the Andis Masters are much longer. So I went open, then I went halfway, quarter of the way, and closed it all the way up. And we follow the same steps as before, but as you can see, the fade is blurry and it blends on in. Same thing we did on the left, we're doing it on the right. Opened all the way up. About halfway. Quarter of the way. And as you can see, each time I close it up, I go a little lower. And all we're doing is blending it in, detailing that fade as we work. This is what I call cross-checking your fade. So we've already put it in with one, then we go ahead and clean it up with the other clipper. So now I have my Andis Purple number 2 guard, double magnet, close. We're cutting it with the grain. And now I have it all the way open, that same guard all the way open. What I'm doing is just setting up that side to blend in to the top. So we're debulking, we're knocking some of that hair out, but not too much because we don't want to raise the fade up to where it looks like he has a high and tight. This is a high ball fade, but we don't want to give him the illusion of having a high and tight. So that's why the guard is open. And as you can see, I'm kind of on the corner of that guard. I don't know if you guys caught that, but I didn't have him flat against his head. So this is my number 1 guard all the way open. And we're just going straight off the head, blending into that number 2 all the way open. Now we closed it up and we're just using corners. And as you can see, it's starting to come out. Then we'll throw our purple 0 on right here and just kind of detail with it. Just all corner work right here. Just making sure that we don't take it up too high. And this is exactly why I like to detail as I work, because as you can see, it's not a whole lot of work left. Like, I'm not done with the haircut, but it's not a whole bunch to do. I'm fading as I'm going, I'm blending it out, I'm checking for any dark spots or anything like that. And I'll detail until it's satisfactory to my eye. Most of the time customers can't really see it anyway, but this is your work, this is your artistry and your canvas. So you want to make sure that you love it when it's time for them to get out of the chair. Both of you guys got to love it, but you want to make sure that you are loving it as well. So now we switch to the back, but I wanted to drop a little knowledge on y'all. The fade is said to have been around since 1930 when electric clippers were introduced. A popular military cut worn by World War II soldiers in 1940s and 50s. By the late 80s and 90s, fades were modernized by Black and Hispanic barbers and cemented into US hip hop culture. That is the Deadstock shock drop of the day. Every tutorial, I randomly drop one fun fact or nugget about hair and hair cutting that you may not have previously known. This information is simply for your growth, but it may come back up later in videos as a means of winning raffles or other giveaways, so make sure you're paying attention and storing this knowledge. If you guys are learning or heard anything new, make sure that you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications so you're notified every time I post a video. I've changed up my schedule and I will be posting weekly for you guys. Let's get a hand clap for that. You guys will get more information like this every single week to help you grow and take your careers to the next level. So now we have the number 1 guard back on there. It is all the way open. As you can see, we're just using those first 3 teeth and just detailing it out. I closed it up all the way and that line is almost gone. So now we have that 0 guard. We'll go halfway, quarter, then close. We're just kind of working that lever as needed, just like we said on the other side. And if need be, we'll take it off and then we'll use it all the way open with no guard. Sometimes we can get by without using it. So now we're going to prepare for the beard trim. What you want to do is make sure that you have that beard picked all the way out. And we use the same steps to fade the hair previously, but in reverse, working our way down. So now we're balding it out. Now we have our babeless clippers all the way open. Now we're halfway. Now we switched over to the masters. Just for the sake of time, you might see me skip a few steps, but just know that I use the same exact steps. We got the masters closed. 0 guard, quarter of the way, and just kind of playing with it. So now I'm just using the corners. Sometimes it might look like I'm using a full blade, but I'm not. So we hit it with a number 2. Now we have the number 1 on again. And I'm just looking at the dark spots and just trying to make sure that it blends really nicely. Now we're prepared to bald it out. Going over to our trimmer, starting in the back, kind of setting in that framework. Excuse my arm, but I'm hitting that top line now. Had to change my position. Just kind of sketching it on in. We will clean it up with the razor, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So you can notice as I'm going in with that trimmer, I'm actually knocking a little bit of the bulk out just so you can see that line clearly. Sometimes you can edge them up and then they'll tilt their head and it won't even look like it's a nice sharp line. So you want to make sure that you're hitting some of the bulk as you go in to set that line. Once again, another reminder that we want to make sure that we're using the same exact steps. That way we don't have to do any guesswork. We know exactly what we're going to do on both sides. And this will make sure that we have a symmetrical haircut as well as beard fade. Like I said, I like to clean up as I go sometimes. It's super random. I just left the back of that head just looking crazy. And it may seem a little disorganized, but I promise you it's not. Like, I do that for a reason. I actually went ahead and bought it out just so I can kind of see what the end result will look like. And it kind of helps me see the fade on the beard a little better as well. Same thing, hit the back of that beard and we'll go in and hit the top line, hit the mustache, clean it on up. And you can see the angle that I'm talking about. So as I go in and hit that line, I'm actually cleaning up that bulk. So that way when I look, I can see a nice clean line all the way through. Just going ahead and shaping it up. Keeping that beard nice and wide, as you can see, with a nice clean line. And it's going to be so much better once I hit the razor. Now we're going to clean up the mustache. And it's all preference based. You know, you want to ask your clients, how do you want it? What kind of shape? And I make sure I do all of that in the consultation. My guy Nate comes every 2 weeks, so I don't have to ask him anything. He'll express whatever he wants to let me know if he wants to do something different. But other than that, after we've done our first consultation, if you want the same thing, here on out, you're going to get the same exact haircut. As you can see, I'm stretching that skin. I see a lot of people using a razor just one head in while they're recording with their phone. I prefer not to. This is how I was taught to do it. I'm already risky enough not using any shaving cream. So I just want to make sure that I don't cut anybody. Mine is popping. Disclaimer: what you're about to witness is a professional pushback. As you can see, my client's hairline is thinning much higher in this corner than it is in the other corner. So we are going to straighten it out as much as possible without taking it up too much. I am aware that his edge up will not be as straight, but it will look good nonetheless. I hope you guys enjoyed my little radio voice I try to put on right there. But no, honestly, like his hair, as you can see, it is thin and it's really high on our left, his right. So I start in the middle and I'm going to work my way left just because that is the most receding point. And I want to make sure that I control exactly how that looks. And then I'll go to his left, my right, and actually try to match it up just a little bit more. Like I said, I know it's not going to be perfect. My client is over 50 years old. He knows his edge up. We both know his edge up. So our goal here is to make it look really, really good and not push it back too much. And it's perfect to both of us. So as you can see, I'm just standing out in front of that corner a little bit. And now I'll go over here and just start to pull this side up, looking at the left, looking at the right, and just making sure that I can match it up. Make sure that you guys, if you haven't already, like this video and subscribe to the channel, man. I'm going to bring you guys a lot of nuggets. I've been doing this for a long time, and I just want to impart all this information and knowledge that I have onto you guys. So these are my Andis XO cordless, whatever trimmers. They do a good job, but they're not like my Babyliss. So you'll see me switch over and kind of clean that line up a little more. But they do work well, I can't lie. And this is really the basics, but make sure that you always have a comb or a brush in your hand so you can like lay it down as you're edging up, or else customer will go home, they're gonna brush their hair or wipe their hand across their hair, and it's not gonna look clean no more. As you can see, I'm using my mirror. I'm looking at that line. I'm trying to make sure that it is straight. And once I get it in there, the little rough draft, then I'll widen it out. Parts are double-sided. You got the top line, you got the bottom line. I put the top line in first. Now I'm hitting the bottom line. If you think about your lines like that, you're gonna always have really sharp, crispy design lines. You guys see, man, it looks good, and that's without any enhancements. All right, so here's the before. Our clients will age, and we can't control that. They'll begin to lose their hair, and we can't control that either. But what we can control is learning and applying the necessary skills required to make our clients look and feel their best, no matter what stage of life they're in. Thank you all so much for making it through to this point in the video. I hope you all enjoyed today's episode. You're up for next week because we've got more quality content coming your way in episode 2 of our 4-part thinning hair technique series. I hope that you all enjoyed the content. If you have any suggestions, comments, or concerns, be sure to mention it in the comment section below, as well as follow me on Instagram to DM me for a more private response. I'm Christopher Manyweather with Deadstock Barbershop. Thank you again, and God bless.